About this one here, 12 lapper on the cards, the New Zealand Grand Prix for Pro Twin Racing, and we're now the marshals are in it. We're in the starters' hands. Once the lights go on, and they have gone on. When they go out, we're away, and this is going to be exciting. Here it is, the lights are out and we're away, and it's a great start from Bruce Telford off the front row. He's got a good start. He's going to drag them down into turn one. Dave Fellows as well. He got a good start. So the two TR20 boys look to be ship shape here. New Zealand Grand Prix Racing, and only a 12 lapper, so this one's going to go all on here. We've had some great racing from our Pro Twin boys so far this weekend, and this one's going to shape up nicely as well. Everyone gets away cleanly out of turn one and down the West Coast straight to start our 12 lap Grand Prix.
I'll tell you what, Jared Horn, the number 74 man, did he ever start off with some vengeance there? He was further back in the pack, and he found a gap that he went for and just dropped the clutch. He was going, he was leaning right forward on it. I think he's been to a motocross school somehow, and the man all the way from Whangamata, it's been wet back in the Coromandel, but I tell you what, he's just loving the sunshine here at Ruapuna today, and he bolted out of that group. I think he was on the back row. I'm sure he was on the back row. I wouldn't be surprised if that's taken him up maybe to as good as 5th place, but we'll find out shortly when they come to again in this Kiwi Energy Solutions Pro Twin lineup as we get excited about more of the cool racing. Remembering, of course, they had a clean race yesterday. They've done one already today. This is the one with the Grand Prix. We haven't yet had a Grand Prix race. Remembering, it's only for the final race of the day for each of our classes, and the Superbikes were to have been our debut Grand Prix for the day, but they haven't been completed, so it's now left to this class. So touch wood, fingers crossed that we get these guys through with racing. And it's not quite the procession. Look at that. There's a bit of a gap there. Gap 1 and 2, and then a bigger gap back to 3. Hey, then look at the next 4, 5. They're all rocking through there. There's another 6 riders in there, so that's 8 in total. It's sort of a 2-4-2 almost as they weave their magic through there at the moment and out onto this opening lap. We love it. It's the Rock FM sweeper here, the final turn as we line it up on the Mike Perro Super Straight here at Ruapuna Park as we go racing and stretching it out already with a 1-2, and these guys have gone for it there at the moment. So Dave Fellows and Ben Rosendale and the hot streak run out there at the moment from Bruce Telford, Johnny Lewis, then go back to Bob Irvine along with Nick Southerwood, Jared Horner, who I was talking about. I thought 5th, but it's only 7th ahead of Vaughan Main, to Robert E. Edwards along with Sean Parker, and unfortunately no Phil Munt. Lovely to catch up with an interview for Phil because he was quick to hold the bike for Nick Southerwood. So although he can't race himself, he's quick to be on the grid and helping the others in the class. He's been the long-time ambassador of Pro Twin Racing and all-round good PR guy as well. The former fire service staff member is now taking a little bit of time off, and here he is still sticking to his passion of racing. But Brad, man oh man, look at this, those boys are gone.
I tell you what, Dave Fellows, he's woken up on the right side of the bed for the Grand Prix here. He is trying to clear out for this one here. Had a crash, unfortunately, in race number 1. He came out in race number 2 and had to settle for 2nd behind Johnny Lewis, but this is exactly what he needed to do. Come out in the Grand Prix and put the hammer down. This is fantastic for the TR20 man. He's loving it. So Ben Rosendale, that's the 2nd class, the pre-2020. So he doesn't need to go and fight with Dave Fellows. Those two are a clear 1-2 in this one here. We've then got Johnny Lewis, who's got himself up into 3rd place ahead of Bruce Telford, so that's been the change on this lap. And then look to Bob Irving, who gets stronger and stronger on that Action Sports Direct CF Moto. So good on them. I've got Nick Southerwood ahead of Vaughan Main, and then look to Jared Horn, who's getting better as this weekend unfolds as well. So exciting. You've got a top 8 guys there. The New Zealand Grand Prix on the line, and Ben Rosendale starting to get into his work there as they head out of the sweeper.
Johnny Lewis will be the one to watch here coming through. It took him a couple of laps to get out here to Bruce Telford there. He's been held up and he shot through and absolutely pulled probably 10 bike lengths in half a lap. So it'll be interesting to see what his lap time is next time round with a clear lap, and I believe he'll pull those front boys in.
All right, so it's 0.7 of a second between Dave and Benno when they cross the line, and it's then a further 3 seconds back to Johnny Lewis. So look out that 3 seconds. Dave Fellows to Johnny Lewis. Look out for this one to come alive. Bruce Telford, he'll be loving his podium he got in race number 1. He was 4th place here this morning, so if he can get back-to-back podiums for the weekend, he'll be absolutely thrilled on the TR20 machine. The former Formula 3 Bears lap record holder in many tracks. He's had some awesome championships along his illustrious career, and it's good to have him out there Pro Twin Racing. So look at this one here unfolding nicely. Dave Fellows, Ben Rosendale, they are 1 and 2, but look at Johnny Lewis, the man on a move. He's in the Fulton Hogan and coming in strong. And then look to Bruce Telford ahead of Bob Irving. Look to Nick Southerwood fighting off Vaughan Main. That's for the Hillbilly Cup as well. West Auckland bragging rights on the line here for those guys, so look out for this. And then Jared Horn from the Coromandel just underneath them in 8th place, but this is his best showing of the weekend so far for sure.
Right, keen to watch out for that front run, and really no much change. I'm making a sort of a comparison by lap and lap and lap, and you can see at the moment that Dave's just keeping his head, keeping his cool, and keeping that first place. Hey, somebody like Ben, he's been the hotshot, he's been the overall winner of the last two. Remembering he's still first in class, so it doesn't matter that he wins the overall, because each of those first two guys are in two different classes, so they're effectively a 1-1 for the want of a phrase. So even if they went the other way around, they'd still actually be 1-1. So it doesn't really matter. But there's a bit of glory in taking the overall, but they'll still should have the number one trophy for their respective classes. We grow Pro Twin Racing and realise the technology now of this new post-2020 model bikes are far superior, and the incredible, beautiful new Aprilia 660 and not the 650s that we've had in times gone by, have taken bikes to another level. And we've heard the interviews from Nick Southerwood as he's just raving about his new bike and saying just what it's doing for his motorcycling, of course, what he wants to do with taking this bike around the world, and to continue his excellence of racing. And there's a talk with regards to how these will help to regrow our Formula 3, or also called Superlight class, for the future. But here it is at the moment, all on at the moment, Dave Fellows. As Brad's pointed out, when you've gone for race 1 and a crash, and race 2 only a second place, there's no better than to build up. So you've gone from 0 to 2 and potentially to number 1, and to get that Grand Prix will be just reward for a man who's put in so much behind the scenes. All round nice guy, loved by everybody in the pits. There's never a bad word said about Dave, and importantly a chance to put that number 1 trophy in front of his mantelpiece. So bring it home with Dave Fellows. Can he do it, Brad?
Oh, absolutely you can. Talking to him at the start of the Suzuki International Series, and he'd had a big crash at Hampton Downs and broken his wrist, so he's under a big fitness cloud. Just wanted to get out and survive the Suzuki International Series and build championship points. He ended up winning 3 out of 3 at Manfield in this class, so to come out here still not 100%, but excited and happy to be here, and this is all falling into his hands nice. He was a little bit quicker than Johnny Lewis on that lap around, so it's out to 3.2 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that buffer, because Benno Rosendale, he's the meat in that sandwich with the two modern post-2020 boys in first and third, and Benno, he's leading from second place in that pre-2020 category as we cross the line. Looking at these lap times, we've also got the 1:37.5. That was the lap that Johnny Lewis put in race number 2 of the weekend. That is so far a lap record for these boys as well. And at the moment, Dave Fellows' fastest lap is over a second off that pace. So playing the long game here in a long 12-lap race. They've had to keep the same set of tyres on for both races today. So all that maybe come into factor. We've still got a massive 8 laps to go. Anything can happen in this Pro Twin racing. As we get excited, our race leader down into the Euro Mark Hairpin. It's looking fabulous for him at the moment. Benno Rosendale's getting reeled in by Johnny Lewis, so the man on the Johnny Lewis Builders machine is now piling on a bit of pressure for Benny Rosendale. Look out for that one there. We've got Bruce Talbot still in 4th place, and he's got about 1.2 second lead back to Bob Irving. That's a battle that's out of class. They're in 2 separate classes, but look out, Nick Southerwood and Vaughan Main in 6th and 7th place. And also the update for Jared Horn, Rob E. Edwards and Sean Parker had to pull out for this one here. So only 9 runners out there in the New Zealand Grand Prix. There's 2 classes in one, and excited. About a third of the way through this race. 4 laps gone, 8 laps to go, and at the moment, can anyone catch Dave Fellows?
Oh, this is just amazing. In fact, you wouldn't even think it's the same rider out there, and there's not at any stage that I've seen him look like he's even going to put anything wrong. It's just kept that distance. It's as if he made the break and then he just said, hey, I want to keep my cool and keep my place, and keen to look out here. So this is looking good, man. I'm going to be oh so quick to hand my microphone over, because none other than SJ. Oh, in fact, sorry, Johnny's going to do that as well at the moment. So Johnny's going to do. SJ has come to join us. Now, we couldn't ask for anybody better out of the Team Rees race team, because here we go, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't want to go back too many, but SJ would have been out there. A class you're still passionate about, SJ?
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. It's a great class that provides some really close racing, and certainly you can learn a lot of it. Yeah. As you can see, there's quite a few guys that have jumped up out of the class over the years and produced some good talent. So it's certainly a really good class there. Needs to be sort of kept alive,
Yeah, well done. Got to nurture this one at the moment. Hey, you've known these boys out there, bringing people like Nick Southerwood back. Nick's been a trusted, long-time campaigner. It's good to see guys that haven't given up on the sport either.
Absolutely. The likes of Ben Rosendale and Jared Horn and Vaughan Main. Those guys have been campaigning for a while now. And, Ben Rosendale is Mr. Pro Twin in New Zealand, isn't he? He's when I was racing, he was the one we aspired to beat. And my final season in the class, when I actually managed to do it, it was a real achievement for me to beat Ben Rosendale, because he's just so polished on these particular bikes. You know, he knows how to inch every last little bit out of those bikes, and there's quite a skill to doing that. So,
do you think this is an example of the fact that it doesn't matter that Dave's in front because he's in the other class? He's riding for that title right here, right now.
Beno, I can tell you 100% now, Beno will be trying to reel that, and he'll back himself over the distance. He knows how to make the tyre last. He knows how to conserve himself. You know, he's always been a hard campaigner to beat in a longer race. But hey, in saying that, Dave Fellows is certainly no slouch as well. He's a very accomplished rider in his own right. So the front of that field, Johnny Lewis as well. Johnny Lewis is going really, really well. So I think that's still well alive, that front of the field for sure. I mean, you see Dave's pulled a little bit of a gap here out of one, and that is quite a big gap. But you know, hey, there's still a few laps to go here.
So, of course, SJ, you did the amazing big double. You won the Pro Twin Championship and you won the New Zealand Grand Prix here 2 years ago, last time we were here. What does it take to win a Grand Prix? It must be 12 laps in the sun here in the Garden City. It must be something you've got to dig deep for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, Ruapuna is one of the longest circuits we come to, and then you throw on top of that, the distance is also one of the longest of the championship. So it's certainly very physical, especially in the heat here. It's about not trying to go too hard in those first few laps, which is very easy to do when you're in a bunch and you're excited and everyone's there and you're trying to sort of make a break for it. And you know, I've made mistakes over the years of trying far too hard in the first laps and you know, losing the race from there. So it's about conserving. I mean, the front three is, you know, there's a long way to go, and Ben Rosendale's sitting in third, and I would not count him out, even though he's on the pre-2020 bike. I mean, those RS 660s are a very, very good twin-cylinder race bike, and certainly, you know, by all accounts, should be a lot better than an aging SV 650.
What's happened to your bike, SJ?
My bike is still in the North Island. I think it's got turned more into a Formula 3 bike.
Yep.
I think the new owner has done a little bit to it and made it a little bit more horsepower, but has sort of gone outside the Pro Twin rules. But I think he's been enjoying riding it. He rode it in the Suzuki International Series before Christmas, and I think he enjoyed that. So yeah, it's still floating around, Neil.
Good to hear. All right, what's the strategy now going on here at the moment? Because Dave looks like he's got pretty consistent there, and Ben, just when we thought he was going to be charging back, he's dropped back to a third place. Is that the conservatism of the guy, the common sense of it? You thought before a bit of a charge, but maybe now is the body factor taking over the mind?
Possibly. I mean, that's it's always hard to when you visibly see the gap open up a bit, and especially as you know the race is starting to tick down and it's you're running out of time. That does play on your mind a bit, but I think probably the man in the box seat here is Johnny Lewis, because he's got the rabbit to chase, and that's always makes it a little bit easier, you know. Dave Fellows doing a great job out the front, setting pace and leading, and that is very hard to do, especially in a long race like this. But Johnny now, he's right there, and I think Dave's going to have his hands full very soon.
Well, it's only going to be a matter of time here. We've still got a massive 4.5 laps to go, and Johnny Lewis just set the fast lap of the race that time around. He was a 1:38.0, 9/10 of a second quicker than Dave Fellows. So this is about to get really exciting as they head into the turn 11 sweeper here at Ruapuna. This is going to come alive. Benno Rosendale, he has been gapped. These two have put on some pace in the last few laps. Benno Rosendale's got the best seat in the house because he is leading the pre-2020 category. But let's have a look. It was the second last time around, and it's again a quick lap from Johnny Lewis, and he's 8/10 quicker. It's down to 2/10 of a second. So this is about to get exciting. This is Grand Prix racing. This New Zealand Grand Prix title on the line, and Johnny Lewis, the man on a mission. He's had 2 from 2 so far this weekend, and SJ would love to do the 3-peat and grab himself a Grand Prix.
Absolutely. Johnny's a hard charger. He's not one to give up, so he will fight to the bitter end in this one. And Johnny and Dave get on well together, so they'll enjoy the battle, and it'll be now for Johnny. He'll be trying to work out where he's a little bit stronger than Dave. There'll be places on the track where Dave's stronger than him, and then vice versa, Johnny will be stronger than Dave. So now it's about working out how many, be looking at the pit board, how many laps to go. Okay, if I do him here, is that gonna, am I gonna have enough to pull a little gap, or will he be back in a stronger position? He's just looks like he's just tried to fire it around the outside of the carousel, which is a brave move, and he Didn't look like he
quite
got
get it
that
done.
stuck, but it's definitely all on now at the front. Dave Fellows got his hands full here, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll give Dave Fellows a hell of a fright seeing someone trying to go around the outside of you at the Christchurch Casino Carousel. So Dave Fellows, how will he respond? He's an experienced campaigner and he loves this machine. He's done a fair bit of riding on it. He won 3 from 3 at Manfield. He comes second here this morning. So this is going to test the TR20 man, the Scooter Artsy Racing. He's going to have his hands full. We're going to have 3 laps to go when they cross the line. They're in the turn 10 sweep of the final corner here at Mike Pero Motorsport Park. Benno Rosendale, he's lost touch completely. He's 4.5 seconds adrift of that battle. And we have a look. Johnny Lewis has been good down this front straight and into turn 1 all weekend. And we see Dave Fellows just go and break the slipstream on the inside, but it's 0.3 of a second, so there's nothing in it as they go into turn 1. Ben Rosendale's on cruise control in the pre-2020 Pro Twin category, but he's 5.7 seconds off the win, so you'd have to think with 3 laps to go, that's out of the question. But anything can happen with those front 2 going at the pace they're going, SJ, and looks like Dave Fellows may just be responding to the pace.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's when Johnny's tried that bold move around the outside of the carousel, that's certainly woken Dave up, and he's now he's going to have to dig really deep for these last couple of laps because he'll know that Johnny's right there. He'll be able to hear him in certain corners, but he's got a really good drive out of the hairpin there, really a fantastic drive actually. So, hey, this is actually going to be a really good race to the end because, as I said, Johnny Lewis is not one to give up the fight. He will want to fight to the bitter end, but Dave is also a seasoned campaigner. He's a smart rider, so this is going to go right down to the wire, I think, Brad.
It is indeed. In fact, with our 10 riders, so a quick update. We're all watching with Dave and Johnny out there. We've got Ben Rosendale in there, the hot shot. Nick Southerwood, man, he should be congratulated. That's a top effort from him in there. Bruce Telford, of course, in our post lineup as well, Vaughan Main. So there's your top 6. The same 6 riders, but they're readjusted positions. Then looking out for Bob Irvine. In fact, no, Bob's been there, hasn't he? Bob's been on our podium and he's not there at the moment. So Jared Horn, who got that liquid lightning start along with Robbie Edwards as well, and Sean Parker making our lineup. But all eyes for the fight going on in the front.
Oh, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because they're out of the sweeper and they're going to have 2 laps to go. There's nothing in it when they cross the line. There's less than 2 tenths when they go racing. Dave Fellows leads Johnny Lewis. Then you go all the way back to Ben Rosendale, but it's the fight for the lead we're going to keep our eyes on. And we've also got some pretty exciting battles going on for podiums as well with Nick Southerwood and Bruce Telford. That's the battle for 3rd in NZ in the GP, and we've got Vaughan Main and Bob Irving fighting out for 2nd and 3rd in their respective Grand Prix class as well. So look out for that. We've got 2 laps to go, and it's edge of your seat sort of stuff. The great crowd here at Mike Pero Motorsport Park have been treated to some hard, fast action, and this next lap and a half SJ is going to be absolutely on.
Yeah, by now the tyres are extremely hot, extremely tortured, so those bikes will be starting to move around quite a lot, especially on the exit of the tighter corners where you're really trying to get on the gas hard. So it's now about trying to manage that and trying to work out where a move is possibly on. So Dave's doing all the defending, Johnny's doing all the attacking. Both are hard positions to be in because someone like Dave Fellows is not easy to pass. And these bikes with limited horsepower too, you've got to make sure that when you make that move that it sticks, you've done it in the right position and you've got good enough drive to get to the next corner without being overtaken again. So this is certainly this is an intense battle. This is great to watch, Brad.
Oh, this is absolutely brilliant. What a thriller we're in for here. They've got 1 corner to go and the white flag ready and waiting. So that's that one there. You'd have to think that the only way Benno Rosendale could win this race here is if something happened to those front 2, but he doesn't need to. He needs to just hang in there. He's leading the pre-2020 classes. They're side by side out of the sweeper. This is going to be a last lap for the ages. The white flag is out and we are on the last lap of the New Zealand Grand Prix for Pro Twin Racing. It's Johnny Lewis putting the pressure on Dave Fellows, but Dave has led from flag to flag so far. Can he hang on? Has he got one more big lap in him, SJ?
I think Johnny's best bet here might be try and get the run through pothole and maybe try and just stab it in at the hairpin and see if he can make it stick, because it's a good place to get on the inside, block it. He's got a pretty decent run here, but he is a little way back, so picking he probably can't get him from there. So he's going to have to try now to maybe use a bit of speed through the infield. He's been pretty strong in the double left here before the dipper, so maybe he can look to try and work a move out of the right-hander and into that first left-hander, but Yeah, possibly Nanas as well, but this is...
Well, he's made the mistake. He's coming way too hot into the right-hander, so that's curtains for Johnny Lewis. You'd have to think it's going to take something special from here. Well done. This has been a defensive masterclass for Dave Fellows on the TR20 machine. Can he hang on? He's got half a lap. New Zealand Grand Prix glory awaits Dave Fellows. Johnny Lewis, he's not going to give up, so don't ride him out yet. But the front two have bolted from Benno Rosendale, but being in third place is good enough for him to be in front of the pre-2020 category as Johnny Lewis tries to get himself involved in this one. Into the Aon Dibber, he's going to try and go in there deep. What a defensive move by Dave Fellows. Just cut the line away. Has it going to be in store here? Out of the dipper we go and into the turn 10 sweeper here at Mike Perro Motorsport Park. Hang on to the edge of your seat because Johnny Lewis has gone in there pretty deep. He's going to try and get on the undercut. Dave Fellows has got the power on nice and early. Has he done enough? It's going to be a drag race to the line. Dave Fellows, what a defensive masterclass, and he's going to hang on and win the New Zealand Grand Prix. That's going to be brilliant for Dave Fellows. Johnny Lewis threw everything, including the kitchen sink at him, and that is an absolute treat and something we come to expect from Pro Twin Racing there, SJ.
Yeah, take my hat off to Dave there. That's a fantastic ride. But hey, hats off also to Benno Rosendale winning the New Zealand Grand Prix for the pre-2020 class. That's a hell of a win there for him. He's got a good distance on the rest of the guys in that particular class. So hats off to him. The other guys coming across the line, Nick Sutherwood and Vaughan Main there. Congrats to them. That's a good solid ride in the afternoon heat grid.
Absolutely. So there's your podium positions. We can update you. Well done to Dave Fellows winning the post-2020 Pro Twin Grand Prix, and well done to Benno Rosendale winning the pre-2020 New Zealand Grand Prix. It'll be Johnny Lewis and Nick Sutherwood rounding off the podium in post-2020, and it'll also be a brilliant performance, Vaughan Main and Bob Irving rounding off our pre-2020 Pro Twins. Thank you very much to SJ, current Pro Twin champion and New Zealand Grand Prix Pro Twin champion. So that is so good to have his expert comments, and what a treat that was. That's the first New Zealand Grand Prix title we will give out here today, and it's going to be Dave Fellows and Benno Rosendale going to grab themselves Grand Prix glory. Coming up next on the program as well, look out for our 13-lap commencement, part 2 of the New Zealand Superbike Grand Prix. That's coming up next, but let's get excited about our top 12 in Pro Twin Racing. Dave Fellows, Johnny Lewis and Ben Rosendale, what a race they had, and that's your top 3. Nick Sutherwood, Bruce Telford and Vaughan Main, 4th, 5th and 6th place for them. Look to Bob Irving ahead of Jared Horn, then go to Robbie Edwards and a non-finish for Sean Parker and a non-start for Phil Munt, but some quality Pro Twin racing this weekend. Let's cross down to Neil, who has Kiwi Energy Solutions New Zealand Grand Prix champions, and there's going to be 6 podiums to get through, so we'll cross down to Neil.
Well, Pirelli Power is nothing without control. If you really want to have a look along the grids, folks, find those that are racing on something else. Find something else, because let alone it's the choice of champions and they're supporting some of the classes, but people have a choice with their budget, and so many are choosing Pirelli tyres more than any other. So just fantastic to see. So here we are, the 14. You hear the Dave Fellows fan club in here, and this is just reward, absolutely just reward, and it has all started out with a bad luck crash, but the team came up, and then of course he's had the only second place in that earlier race, but oh man, this is just something else. So pretty cool to see. We're going to squeeze. We've actually got our other group there before, and are we going to get Benno? Is he going to come in on this one as well? All right, great work here. Thank you, Phil. Thank you in the background. And Nick's going to be quick enough to get his helmet off, and he'll get that Pirelli cap on board here as we line up. So Kip Racing getting behind it as well. Nick, that was one that counted, mate. A 3 NZ in the GP. Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling real good after that. I tell you, I had to work a bit, but once I got into it, I was away.
Hey, what a cool group to be in amongst that top guys in those early laps. When you're all with a chance, aren't you?
Yeah, we are, but those guys are a little bit better and a bit younger and a little bit not so fat.
Okay, so you've got a week. Can you do a miracle?
I'm just here to try my best and have fun, and whatever happens. I'm just happy to be here, and thanks.
Right, Teretonga next week. You're going all the way to beautiful Invercargill?
I definitely am, and I'm going to turn it up there and go for it.
Well done, Nick. That's fantastic. Well, you heard the attitude. Yes, indeed. Nick Southerwood. Cool. And I don't know quite whether the big bus is around as well. So here's Phil. He's a quick one over here to have a chat. Johnny, you couldn't quite do it. What a race.
Oh, mate, just these starts are terrible. So I was hoping for a few more laps, and then I saw the white flag, and I was like, oh. And I had a little tuck down there, and I picked it up, and then he was just everywhere I wanted to be. So he rode so well. Yeah, I just couldn't get him. Tried though.
Yeah, tried indeed. Teretonga next weekend as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah.
Cool bit of practice for the Burt, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, we love the Burt in our family, mate.
Yeah, we've known that. So you mentioned before about pretty good for street races. What about being on Teretonga compared to Ruapuna? Will it be better down there, you think?
Yeah, I think so. These Aprilia RS660s are just phenomenal all round. They're just great fun, and that's what it's all about, you know.
Well done. There you go. Nothing better than from Johnny Lewis. Here we go. Dave, personally, mate, how good was that? Mate, what a weekend. What a weekend from nothing to 2 to 1. How good?
Yeah, shame to lose so many points yesterday. And I was chatting to Johnny earlier, like in the first race, he was just so quick. I was like, mate, this next race is yours as well. I'll just come in behind you. But I got a good start, and I think Johnny must have got held up a bit. I saw the gap at around 3 seconds, then all of a sudden it just came closing down. I was like, oh, mate, he was right on my tail with 3 laps to go, and I thought there's no way I was going to defend it, but I just blocked off all the corners and somehow held on, so yeah, really, really pleased.
Good result, mate. That puts you in a better frame of mind for Invercargill next week?
Yeah, looking forward to Invercargill. I've only ridden there once, but it's a really fun track, so looking forward. I know Johnny will go really well there again, so I think we'll have some good fights ahead. Just a really big thank you to the TR20 team. It's been a tough weekend with Dylan having a few crashes, and then I had one yesterday, so team been really busy, and I love all their support, and Luke and Sophie as well, so big kudos to them.
Well done, beautiful speech, thank you, Dave. All right, quickly as we go back through in here, and we're going to have, in fact, we're going to have Bob, I think, coming up for the third place in here, and I still got a smile on your face. You love it, don't you?
Oh, no, it's always nice being on the podium. Had a good one before, but yeah, just couldn't make it happen. But no, happy to still be in one piece and back talking to you.
Indeed, special about Invercargill. You're looking forward to going there next week?
Yeah, I love Invercargill. It's kind of my home track now, so yeah, no, looking forward to going down there and seeing what I can do down there.
Quite a North Islander that found Wanaka for a great place to live. You like being an honourable South Islander?
Yeah, no, it's start rolling my R's, so yeah, no, from the south.
Yeah, love it. Cool. Thank you, Bob. That is awesome. Hey, Vaughan, you've moved up. How'd you do that?
Oh, hard work, but yeah, it's good fun out there. Eh? Bob pushed me pretty hard. It took me a while to catch him, and sort of get in there, but yeah, it was good fun, eh?
What about the 3 climates in 3 days? Hey, the heat wave pretty hot, and then the wet and the cold yesterday. Today's close to perfect, isn't it?
Oh, I'm definitely much happier today, eh? It's a bit nicer. I found out I had a buckled wet rim yesterday before in the qualifying, so. Yeah, but it's definitely nice to be back on the dry and back on the Pirellis.
Are you gonna have a holiday this week while you're down here?
Oh yeah, gonna go mountain biking and just do a bit of everything, man. May as well enjoy it, eh?
Well done, Vaughan. Great words. Cheers, Vaughan Main, ladies and gentlemen.